At the White House, on the actual anniversary, the 60th anniversary of the 1963 March on Washington, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris met with civil rights leaders, to include Ambassador Andy Young, who was actually in attendance and one of the lieutenants of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on that day and beyond. Also, the children of Dr. King, Dr. Bernice King, and Dr. King's namesake, Martin Luther King III, along with his family, the Reverend Al Sharpton of the National Action Network, Mark Morial of the National Urban League, and so many others.
Kamala and I wanted to convene this incredible group of civil rights leaders for a simple reason: to thank them and to tell them what they tell us. We know we got a lot more work to do. A lot's happening around things you wouldn't think would be happening today on the anniversary of the 60 years of March. Turn this over to the Vice President for a few minutes and then we'll get moving.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our country was founded on many noble principles, and I believe each of us has a duty to not allow factions to sever our unity, and foundational principles that out of many, we are one.
After both the president and vice president spoke, I asked a question of President Biden as to how he plans to stop this hate that is on the rise, according to the FBI, especially after the most recent hate killings in Jacksonville, Florida.
Mr. President, as we are in this moment of hate, you have laws, you have policies, you have executive orders. Mr. President, how do you prevent this hate? Is it a heart issue, and how do you intend to stop this hate that you just said must stop?
By talking directly to the American people, because I think the vast majority of the American people agree with this table. But we have to understand this is serious. I said a little earlier as I came in and sat down, I think this is as serious a potential turning point for the negative as it was when the turning point for the positive when your dad organized that march. I really think this is a critical time. We have groups, a significant minority, but I think they want to change the direction that we've been working on so hard and making such significant progress on for so long. And we can't let it happen. So we just have to speak to it. I've spoken to the authorities in Jacksonville, and I even spoke to the governor as well last night for some time, all the folks. And right now, I asked for whether or not it was appropriate for the local people to contact the families. 2 of them are prepared to be contacted. 1 does not want to be contacted. I'm letting this just let things settle, because everybody deals with profound loss in a different way, and it's important that I know from experience it's important to try to do it in a way that is most helpful and eases the anxiety the most. So I haven't spoken to them yet. Thank you.
At that same meeting, civil rights leaders told the president and the vice president they want to take that anti-hate conference held at the White House a year ago to Florida. Florida being the place where they feel the racial rhetoric is rising, as well as hate, specifically after the Jacksonville murders. April Ryan for theGrio.